In some parts of the world, women still aren't allowed to drive, vote, or show their faces in public. That's not a cultural quirk. That's oppression. In other parts of the world, forced marriage, child labor are treated as normal day-to-day things. But morality does not change just because a passport does. And I feel like in our day and age, in a time when tolerance has given way to things like relativism and is incredibly popular and pushed pretty hard by many, many people, we need to be vigilant. And if this sounds harsh, that's because it is. Morality does not change based on our preferences. There's moral and there is immoral. And that's what ethics teaches us. If a practice destroys freedom or dignity, calling it culture, different ideas, a different ideology, doesn't excuse it. And that's something that we've gotten wrong by being tolerant. And honestly, truth and justice, these things aren't uniquely Western. But in Western countries, these have been the underlying fundamental tenets that have led us to where we are today. And which I would argue are what have allowed us to have such an abundance now, to live the most prosperous, most just, fair time in history. Culture should evolve toward freedom, not away from it. If a practice violates basic human dignity, it's not just their way, it's wrong. It's straight up wrong and inferior to other cultural practices that promote justice, fairness, bodily autonomy, and so on. Moral truth does not simply bend whenever you enter a different country. And we should not defend these practices just because they're done by other countries and other cultures and that's somehow sacred. No, just being different is not sacred. You still need to be moral and act with fairness and kindness and justice. Progress only happens when we're brave enough, not just to say this, but at least to acknowledge it to ourselves. This is not okay, even if it's normal somewhere else. Tolerance ends where harm begins. And unfortunately, that line is a blurry one. It can be really hard to tell whether or not we're being nice and tolerant, or if we're actually causing irreparable damage to the world and to the fabric of reality itself. You might think that you're protesting something on your college campus, and being nice, it could be that you're doing damage in the opposite direction of what you're trying to do. Think critically about what it is that you're actually protesting, about what culture you're actually defending, what sorts of people you are actually trying to be vocal for, and then think, is it worth it? What sorts of ideas am I standing up for? We need to promote the right ideas, because some ideas and some cultures are better than others, and that's how it is. That is just a fact. Because society means that there must be some level of function. I cannot be scared that I might get murdered right now. That is antithetical to a functional society, and this is something that we lose sight of. We humans, we actually do have certain rules. Not everything is in a vacuum, despite what our privileged 21st century lives might try to teach us. There actually is real danger out there. There are people living in the world under real poverty, under real oppression. Right now, today, that's happening. And we need to think critically and understand there is a right way and a wrong way of doing things. And we need to try to promote the right way. Give me a follow if you agree.